Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge
To the republic for which it stands, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam City Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor, quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, Parking Authority, and Joint Powers Authority.
Now we're going to open for public comment on agenda items only at this time. And if you want to make a comment, you'll dial 1-888-251-2949 or 215-861-0694. And the access code for today is 120-7201#. Then wait 3 seconds and press pound again. Operator, are there any callers?
Callers, if you wish to make a comment, please dial #2 on your keypad and your line will be unmuted. And there are no callers.
Okay, we'll close the line, and now we'll go to the library lecture hall.
Let me get this.
Are there any speakers in the library lecture hall?
Yes, we got it. Let's go, baby. Fresh out, baby. Let's do this, Mayor. When you resign? That's all I want. Let's do this. Let's get Frederica Jackson the mayor. I'm good.
Okay, which item are you speaking on, sir?
Your resignation. What we doing this, baby? I want Deion Funk gone. I want Aisha Thompson gone. I want Alex
Okay,
Padilla
sir,
possibly
we're
mayor.
gonna have to,
Guys don't even know if he's there.
We're going to have to cut off your comment. You're not speaking on an agenda item. Okay, next speaker. Okay. There are no more speakers for the agenda, so we'll go to item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members, Successor Agency members, and Housing Authority members, Dodson. Aye. Padilla.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor. The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider zoning code amendment 2022-003, amendments to the city's master fee schedule, and multiple actions associated with the transportation impact analysis guidelines.
Has the notice of the hearing been given in the time, form, and manners required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received regarding the matter?
No communications have been received, Mayor.
Mr. City Manager, is there a staff report?
Yes, Mr. Lewis Atwell, Assistant City Manager and Public Works Director, will give the staff report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is a recommendation to adopt new transportation impact analysis threshold and guidelines as it relates to the zoning code amendment and the adoption of a corresponding transportation analysis review fee. By way of background, in September 2013, the state of California adopted Senate Bill 743 into law and changed the approach and methodology of all transportation impact analysis as part of CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. The new law determined that traffic congestion, also known as level of service, would no longer be considered as having a significant impact on the environment under CEQA. The state subsequently identified VMTs, or vehicle miles traveled, as the new performance metric for analyzing the effects of land use projects on the transportation network. Project-specific transportation analysis for residential and small-scale commercial projects will be conducted using a VMT calculator that has been developed specifically for the city of Inglewood, while analysis for larger-scale projects, including regional, serving retail, commercial, entertainment, and event centers, as well as new land use, specific and transportation plans, will utilize SCAG's, the Southern California Association of Governments Regional Travel Demand Model. The Transportation Impact Analysis Guidelines prescribe potential mitigation strategies for when it's been determined that a project will create significant VMT impacts. Lastly, because the city must review all planning applications against new transportation guidelines, this requires staff time and resources. Consistent with other surrounding cities, we must cover its costs, and a new application fee of $1,485 is proposed. Projects that require a VMT model run will be required to cover associated costs for staff review as part of their specific funding agreement. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that want to make a comment? Operator, are there any callers on the line?
We have one caller. Go ahead.
Caller?
If you just heard the word "your line is now unmuted," please go ahead. Okay, that caller has disconnected. There are no more callers.
All right, we'll go to the library lecture hall for comments on the public hearing.
Yeah, we got that, baby. Hey, I have a real problem with these zoning laws because they're really racist. And really, that it's convoluted language, and I wouldn't trust Lewis Atwell with you and Mel McDade in a room by yourself. So it's legislative rape. Basically, the average poor brown and black person doesn't understand what's going on. So what happens is these transportation deals are followed by affordable housing where the bathroom costs $1 million and your developer friends who snort cocaine and whatever the fuck they do. I'm sorry. You in the videos and Deion Fogg two-stepping and Yolanda Adams at the city clerk's office and Drop Dead Fred in District 1. I like Alex Padilla. We had good conversations, my friend. Hey, I need this favor. On that fentanyl deal thing we
Where we're
talked
going to
about.
have to go
Oh,
back.
okay, let me finish that.
We're going to have to
So,
go
Mayor,
back to the
Mayor,
public
you're-
hearing,
Mayor,
or we're going to mute you, sir. So let's go back to the public
All right,
hearing.
back to it, baby. So the average person, you guys are gonna vote. It's a plausible thing to do 4-0, but this is rape. These are people, you have these events, they said this in the rooms, give them bread and circuses, they never revoke. Most people don't read these staff reports. So they're going along, dancing with you with your receding hairline, and taking pictures, and you're just giving the city away. I said this, we can have an equitable transformation of this city. Should be a partnership. And the partnership can't happen with you guys. I like Eloy, I like Alex, but Dotson gotta go, you gotta go, Dion's gotta go, Aisha's gotta go. Her staff can stay, I like them, but Aisha's gotta go. But we can turn the city around. Lewis Atwell gotta go, the police chief, he's overpaid, he's gotta go. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna be here after November the 8th. Bernie Sanders is gonna be in town Thursday. That's the only thing I thought about when I got out of jail. You, Frederica Dixie being mayor.
Okay, you've drifted
No,
off.
I'm not drifting.
You've drifted
You
off the
drifted.
public
Your
hearing,
hairline is-
so we're going to mute you now, and you're done, sir.
Good afternoon, Council. I had a couple of questions. One is what is considered a small scale and what is considered a large scale? And also, who's going to be paying the $1,482? And how do they come up with that amount for them to pay? And we're talking about traffic mitigation. Any large-scale thing that we build here in the city now is going to cause more traffic, and so we need to look into that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other speakers? With that, we'll close public comment on this matter. I move item 2, categorical exemption. Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Move 4, 5, and 6.
Second.
Well, Mayor, can you
You have
just
to
introduce
introduce.
and then you
Oh.
can, yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
I'll introduce.
Okay, thank you.
That's
And then you'll
right.
move 5, 6,
Move
Mayor?
5 and 6.
Okay, just need a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor. Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Items 2 through 5.
Second.
So moved. Ellen, you can go ahead and second.
All right. that was quick.
She was on it.
She was quick. She even beat me to. So moved.
Madam City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor. Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that the mayor and council members set a public hearing to consider an ordinance designating certain portions of the city as an event zone in order to regulate certain activities in connection with the National Collegiate Athletic Association National Football Championship Game and related events.
Set the public hearing for November 15th, 2022 at 2 p.m. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 3 items we had in closed session. We had council members Falk, Morales, and Dodson present. CS1, we have CSDP versus the City of Inglewood, case number 219-CV10712, and CS2, Tony Maiden versus the City of Inglewood, case number 19-STCV20008. There were updates given and discussions were had and direction given. CS3, we had labor negotiations. We had Mr. Jose Cortez on behalf of the city and the organizations representing the employees. We had the Inglewood Management Employee Organization, or IMEO. We had the Inglewood Police Civilian Management Association, or IPCMA, and the Inglewood Executive Organization, or IEO. Status updates were given. That, and I have no oral reports for CS2.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy City Attorney, Assistant City Attorney. I can't, the pay will be the same. Now we're going to go on to CM1.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
All right, to CC1.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Just want to inform the residents that early in-person voting will begin this Saturday, October the 29th at Rogers Park from 10 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock p.m. And the address for Rogers Park is 400 West Beach Avenue. If you require any additional information, you feel free to contact my office. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you so much. The successor agencies in session, CSA 2.
Approval of the minutes of the meetings held on September 6th and September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Successor agency members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. Adjourn the successor agency. The housing authority is in session, H2.
Approval of the minutes of the meetings held on September 6th and September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Housing authority members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. We'll adjourn the housing authority. The finance authority is in session, F1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Finance authority members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. We'll adjourn the finance authority. The parking authority is in session, P1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Parking authority members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla. Fogg.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. We'll adjourn the parking authority. The JPA is in session, JPA 1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Joint Powers Authority members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. We'll adjourn the JPA. There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. We're to public comment. Persons wishing to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time for 1 minute. Operator, are there any callers?
We have 2. First caller, go ahead. Caller, if you just heard that your line is unmuted, you may speak now.
Seems like you're having feedback, caller. If you have an instrument broadcasting the council meeting, you might turn that down.
We'll return to this caller. Next caller, go ahead.
Hello? Yes. I'm calling in regards to the utility um, payments that was given through the COVID-19
Relief?
that was for the residents, that I think 5,000 people you said that you gave utilities here in Inglewood,
We didn't give them utilities,
paid for
ma'am.
their,
Yeah,
no, you paid for their utilities. Yes, okay.
we paid the arrearages, ma'am.
$3.2 million. Okay?
Mhm.
So I have that information. And I was wondering, how did these people receive this and how did you do this? Because the people I've talked to didn't receive anything for their utilities, for their water, trash, and sewage. Sewage. So how was this sent out?
I can
And
answer
to
that
what
for you, ma'am.
residents was this given?
Ma'am,
Pardon me?
ma'am, I'm gonna answer that for you.
Yes.
Basically, the
Okay.
utilities that were paid were those that the city had a lien against the property because they were so far behind. So if you were like 30, 60 days late, then you wouldn't have made the list. What we did was erase the indebtedness to the city. It wasn't meant to prospectively or proactively pay utilities. It was to take people out of a lien status where they could lose their homes. All right, thank you. Operator, next caller.
Apartment.
Operator, next caller.
Is unmuted. Please go ahead. We're getting a bit of feedback from you.
Voters. His voters got that.
Okay, operator, we're going to move that call along. Apparently, there's on the caller's end, there's some type of malfunction. Are there any other callers?
No other callers.
We'll close public comment by phone. We'll move to the library lecture hall. 1 minute.
Very important you understand numbers. Inglewood is one of the poorest cities in the country, 43% under the federal poverty line, so it's very important. They are not getting these community block development grants funds to you. They're manipulating the process so they can divert these funds to their billionaire tax friends. You have to do the homework. It's too much to cover under a minute, but I got that. It is time to fire Mark Fonorata and get a chief in at a lower cost. They are not producing the results. It's very dangerous over there. It's time to, I would like to see, and I'd love to see Fredericia Dixon mayor because I think she can do something special. But it's time for you to go. I'd like to see Alex Padilla. I like your campaign, Alex. If you need somebody to work for you, I got you. But any woman who supports this mayor, Tina McKenna, Deion
10
Falk,
seconds, sir.
Shaka Khan, I will recall you. You better not even stand next to him. I will be here after no.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Okay, if nobody's coming up, we'll, oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Mayor Butts.
Hi.
The questions that I asked about the small scale and the large scale, where am I gonna be able to find that information? Also, where am I gonna be able to find the information about the $1,482 and how that amount was come up with? And also, the money that you paid for people who are gonna be losing their house, was it people from Inglewood or was it people from Golden State?
It was Inglewood residents.
Inglewood
Yeah, what kind of question is that? 100% Inglewood residents.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Last week, I addressed this council about the public safety issues occurring in Inglewood. But it is not okay for you to silence my voice by muting my mic after 60 seconds or less, while allowing others to speak over 60 seconds when you are in agreement with their message. You are elected to be a servant of the people, but for years you have engaged with us as a dictator. Dion, what is funny about the unsolved murder of Mr. Hakeem Kent? As I was addressing this very serious issue, you sat there and laughed at me, displaying a complete lack of decorum. I have been careful not to address you because I believe in empowering women, not tearing them down. However, I won't let your arrogance, disrespect, and elitism off the hook anymore. At a recent block club meeting, one of my volunteers, who is a 16-year-old honor student and athlete, approached you to talk about her concerns. You talked to her so badly that when she came to me, she was almost in tears. You tried to break her
Thank you
spirit,
so
but I
much.
won't let that happen.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. Your time is up. Can you hear me? Your time is up.
Next.
Okay, is the next speaker? Are there any other speakers? Okay, with that, we'll close public comment from the lecture hall. Thank you. Okay, now we move on to mayor and council remarks. Councilman Dotson, District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oktoberfest, I attended it. It was very well attended. Lots of families, kids running around, having a good time. That's what it was all about. I talked to one young lady who was making the balloons animals. And when I was there, she said she had done 1,000 balloons. Now, her fingers must have been hurting for a little while. She did 1,000 balloons.
That's a lot.
I want to remind the seniors at the lunch tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Come on out and join us. And I'm having an event at the ICOP Center on 7th and Manchester. Come out and join our police and have a cup of coffee with them, Danish. We'll be looking for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to give a couple of thanks. Number one, to Brian Walker and all his folks in the Office of Emergency Services. Last week, we did the earthquake safety drill, and man, I got to tell you, they did a tremendous job of notifying our community, our residents, but also our business community on what to do and how to be prepared for these disasters that can and will hit us eventually. And so it was really refreshing for all of our folks in Inglewood to have had the information that your folks handed out, Brian. So thank you, and please express our appreciation to the rest of your staff. I want to thank our Parks and Recs folks. This past weekend, they did a Halloween family festival right here in the South Lawn. It was the first time we've done it out there, and let me tell you, the response was overwhelming. Just to see all the families out there and to see the kids in their costumes and everybody just having a really fun time. You know, it's exciting times in Inglewood. There's some pictures up there. But what's so amazing is to see everybody that came out, not only from Inglewood, but also from adjoining communities. And there's a picture up there with holding my little grandson, little Leo. You know, and so it was a great event, and I encourage folks to come out and celebrate these type of events. We're actually having another one, Dia de los Muertos, coming up this Saturday from 12 to 7, right across the street from Inglewood High School. It's an opportunity for us to recognize and acknowledge and show support to our families that have lost somebody. And so if you've never been to a Dia de los Muertos, please come out. We're going to be able to talk to folks and let them know what it means to have these days. It's a Hispanic culture experience, and it's always good to share all the different cultures that we have in our community in Inglewood. I want to congratulate one of our commissioners, Charles Bragg. He received an award this past week, Democrat of the Year for AD 61. So Commissioner Bragg, congratulations to you on this well-deserved award. I had an opportunity to go to the Inglewood Park Cemetery. They did a drive-by, you go through the cemetery for Dia de los Muertos. Again, another great event in the sense that being able to see these families and to talk about their loved ones and the impact that they had, on their families. And so it's an opportunity to mourn their death, but also celebrate their life, and that's what's important. Restriping of Centinela has occurred. If you go up and down Centinela, you're gonna see all our new striping. There's a picture up there.
What are they gonna complain
And,
about now, Alex?
well, hold on, because we're doing the crosswalks next. So the crosswalks will be done today or tomorrow, depending on how things are progressing. But, Mayor, you and I know, no matter what, some folks will always find a reason to say whatever it is. So let's not give them any more play than they deserve. But I do want to thank Kenrick and the rest of the staff out there for Mr. Atwell for all the work that they're doing, and also their engagement with all the businesses up and down Centinela and with the residents to make sure they're informed about how this is going to happen and the impacts that it may or may not have on them. But like we've always said, just be patient. We're this close to the finish line. This week, everything will be done. And I'm telling you, as I said a few months ago, Inglewood is on the rise. It's always on the rise. And Centinela is going to look chulada, beautiful. So thank you, everybody. Be safe out there on Halloween. Watch out for the little kids out there trick-or-treating. Thank you.
That was Chulala?
Yeah, no, that's what I was.
All right, okay. That's the word of the day.
We learned a
My
new
new
word,
phrase.
That's
chulada.
the word of
My
the
new
day.
phrase.
All
Love
right.
it. I love it.
Okay, Councilwoman Falk.
Thanks, Mayor. Okay, so last week I was so happy to attend the breast cancer Zumba event. That was on Tuesday at Rogers Park. It was a very nice event, and a lot of ladies came out to honor breast cancer awareness and just kind of have some kind of activity to bring awareness to the month, a very important month as we discussed last week. So want to thank all the lovely ladies and want to thank the instructor, Ronnie, for a really great event. This morning, I attended Coffee with a Cop, and that was at Norm's, right there on Imperial, our newest restaurant over there. And it was a really great event. Councilman Dotson came out, and Lieutenant Meeks, our chief fronterata. And then the event was organized by our community liaison for IPD, Cinder Eller. And it was a really great event. We had a lot of District 4 residents come on out. They brought they brought their compliments, but then also some of their concerns. And then we had a great conversation addressing, future interests, what's happening in the city, what's happening in District 4, and just a great opportunity for me to connect with new residents in District 4. So I was very happy with that event. I'm so glad that I was able to be there and meet our newest residents. And so lastly, this Saturday, we have the Monster Halloween Party. It is happening at Crenshaw Imperial from 1 to 4. It's going to be a great event, as you can see from the flyer. There's going to be a scavenger hunt, what else? Face painting, a bouncy house, all kinds of wonderful activities for the kids. As you know, we're in Halloween season, knee deep, so bring the kids out for this really nice event that will be happening again at Crenshaw Imperial. And I look forward to seeing you guys all there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I just want to say a few words about the short-term rental division in the Housing Protection Department. Most Inglewood residents realize that we had a quadruple homicide in the North End close to a year ago. And we found out that it was a party house. We found out that the owner did not live on the property. We found out that he was in the habit of renting this out. And we began a vigorous program to regulate short-term rentals. There's been a little bit of confusion, and I want to deal with the questions that were most asked. First of all, The Short-Term Rentals Division will take the time to help and inform everyone who calls in with questions. There's some confusion about the November 1st permit deadline. Some people seem to think that's the city's deadline for permits. No, this was set by Airbnb, that they would not accept any listings that did not receive a permit from the city of Inglewood by November 1. So that was not the city's decision. Next, there's some confusion about TOT taxes. They thought that we set the TOT as a council, and that's not true. This was voted on recently. I think it was last December. Now, there's a gentleman who built an ADU on his property, and he paid his TOTs, which he was required to anyway, because when you run a business, you have to pay business taxes, even if subsequently it's found that your business is not lawful. And so he paid his TOTs, and unfortunately, he had not sent in his application. And when his application was received, it was found that he built an ADU by right under California law 65852.2, which gave administrative approval for people that wanted to build ADUs. And the state did that because they wanted to lessen the housing crisis. And that's why the state overrode the city's prerogative to deny these structures. Well, if you read the section in that section that's subsection E4, it says clearly, any ADU built pursuant to this code can be rented for no less than 30 days. Okay? And so you can't use ADUs by state. The city has no say. You cannot use your ADU as a short-term rental. But what you can do, if you want to have a hosted rental in your main home, you can still have short-term rentals. And so there are people that are fomenting discontent and confusion. And so this gentleman, who I believe is a retired firefighter, he was made aware that he signed a covenant. He was also made aware of the options that I just laid out to you to operate an STR. Okay, so with that, I hope that clears up the confusion, and we're adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.